everyone, and welcome back to Tea Time Thoughts. I'm Kaylin, as always, and for the first time in like 2 years or something, I have a very special guest for you guys here today. Everybody, welcome back my dear friend Brenna! Woo!
Hey, hello!
Hello, and you were actually the last guest I had on here as well, too, so we're coming full circle.
Ooh, the last?
Yeah, because remember the Charles II episode? That was the last time I had a guest on. I haven't had a guest on since because I kept going in and out of hiatus.
Oh, that's right. I just, totally spaced on that. Wow, long time.
I know, but I'm so excited. So I'm actually...
Get rolling again.
Yeah. So I'm actually going to kind of turn things over to you in a bit to talk about what we're going to discuss. But the last time I had you on here, we talked about Charles II of England. And I mean, I feel pretty good speaking for the both of us that was a pretty good time. But yeah.
It was a good time. It was a fun time.
Mm-hmm.
The part, good one.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Great stuff. So, Brenna and I talked about doing something on a similar vein where we dig into another Charles II, only this one is just a bit different. So, Brenna, tell us a little bit about the other Charles.
The other Charles. Old Charlesy boy. Oh, is there a treat for you today, everybody? Kaylin, you included. Oh, the horror. The horror of this man. Ladies and gents, friends and foes, we are talking about Charles II of Spain, the bewitched Hapsburg king. Oh my gosh, the research that I have done on this man has made me scared.
I am scared to find out about all of this, but I'm also very excited as well. Because basically, since I told you the factoids last time, we're switching now. You're going to teach me something. And I have a basic idea of what we're looking into because, of course, it's Hapsburg. There's a lot of wild stuff when it comes to the Hapsburgs. But for the most part, my slate is pretty clear. And so I'm keeping my mind open. I may regret that soon. We may all regret it soon.
Was it a little bit? But, be ready.
Okay. All right. I guess there's no better way than to just dig right into it. Oh, I'm not drinking tea today, unfortunately. I know. Sorry, everybody. It's just a little bit of a toasty day. But what I have been drinking, though, I've been drinking some delicious mango and passion fruit vitamin D water, because the vits are good. Brenna, are you drinking anything today?
Vitamins? All right. I'm just having regular water.
No, it's always good. Ooh. Well, it's always good. Hydrate or dihydrate. All right. No more stalling. We gotta get into it now.
Don't be too scared, but be scared.
Okay.
So just for preface, people look him up. Just for you, what's the first thing you think of when you think of this king, of Charles II of Spain, the Habsburgs?
The jaw.
The jaw. It's always... Now, we'll get into the jaw, but we're going to start off with a little bit of just, titillating information to get you ready for this man. All right, so Charles lived from the 17th of September, 1665 to the 1st of November, 1700. And his life was a dumpster fire that had been chucked from a moving train.
Oh.
But it wasn't really his fault, and here's why. His family, unfortunately this one hits right in the irony, the man was impotent because it was as if God had said, after all these years, Habsburgs, you've gone too far, and he yoinked the ability to derail humanity from them.
He yeeteth and he yoinketh away.
Because you don't understand how inbred this family was, and I'm about to tell you. So there's a scale. We're going to start off with the scale. There's a scale for interfamilial marriage called the inbreeding coefficient.
Mm-hmm.
Most royals have at least some numerical value on this scale. For example, Prince Charles of the UK, another Charles,
mm-hmm.
Had parents who were third cousins and has a coefficient of 0.004.
Okay.
The average level for the Habsburg family was 0.093.
Ooh.
And are you ready? The Charles II of Spain coefficient? A whopping 0.25.
Oh my gosh.
Sibling level of inbred.
Ooh.
Sibling level. And you want to know how? Want to know why?
Oh, sure, I guess. Oh, I feel bad for him.
It's not his fault.
Yeah, it's really not.
Choice, but, oh my goodness. Everything started off fine with the marriage of Philip and Joanna of Castile in the beginning. But it all went downhill in the third generation when second cousins, uncles, nieces, half-siblings all started to marry one another. And this includes old Charlesy Boy's father, who was 30 years older than his mom. Yeah, homeboy, after he lost his first wife, decided to wait decades to marry his niece so they could keep it in the family.
I need to... Yeah, no, it's one of those things where I know...
niece and future wife was born.
Oh my gosh. It's one of those things where, like, I know that in some cases we have to, like, withhold our judgments because they thought they were doing the right thing. But at the same time, like, there have been different laws throughout history against, like, marrying cousins and stuff. Because to some degree, people have been aware of it. I just...
First wife, Philip I think he's the fourth, possibly. His name was Philip. His first wife was not from the Hapsburg line, like, directly.
Mm-hmm.
But she, unfortunately... Oh, I'm trying to remember.
That's okay, go for it.
She didn't give him what he wanted. And when she died, her only son that she had born had died at the age of 16 as well.
Oh.
So there were male heirs. And so they probably thought, oh, hey, well, it had worked in the past, it should work now. Unfortunately, this also ostracized them from the rest of European nobility. So, yes, Europe did say, y'all look be crazy.
Okay, good. Because I was like, I know that they're...
No.
In one case, you know, it's important to, like, have the hindsight of being like, oh, well, they didn't know better. But in this case, they definitely did.
Yes, they did know better, and they should have done better. Because what ended up happening is a whole host of stuff to this poor man, and he didn't deserve any of it.
Oh.
Because not only was Charles II's aunt also his grandmother, which is confusing in its own right. Your dad is your uncle. Your mom is your cousin.
Someone's revving their motorcycle outside in support of Charlie, but there's this song, it's called I'm My Own Grandpa. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
I feel like
this guy married somebody who had a stepdaughter, and the guy's dad married the lady's stepdaughter. And he's going through, and he's like, when you go through the family tree, I'm my own grandpa, and all this stuff.
Like a weird triangle, right? Or something like that?
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a confusing thing. And then that makes his wife his own grandpa, or his own grandmother as well.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. The only difference between a Hapsburg wedding and a redneck wedding are the amount of red Solo cups used at the reception.
Oh my god. No, instead of the Hapsburg wedding, they have red chalices. Excuse you.
Touché, yes. No, much more bougie.
Here we go. Now, into El Hechizado. I believe I'm trying to pronounce that right.
Well, you would have a better grasp of it than I do, since you have a lot of members of your family that speak Spanish, so.
But yes, so that's the Spanish for, I believe, the Bewitched is how he was called, and we'll get into a little bit of that in a bit. But his ailment, Charles, so the portraits had been painting of Charles, and believe it or not, if you look them up, they're actually fairly flattering. You look at them, and you don't think so, but compared to how he actually looked, they are flattering.
Mm.
And here's why. The man had an underbite that could go on for days. We've discussed the Hapsburg jaw.
Mm-hmm.
We'll discuss the Hapsburg jaw. But this poor man also had an overlarge tongue, epilepsy, gout, dropsy, depression, a disfigured and overlarge jaw. He was mentally and physically disabled, couldn't speak until the age of 4, couldn't walk until the age of 8, was born, quote, fragile and weak, with a head covered in scabs and oozing.
Ooh.
There's a mental picture for you.
Ugh.
Contracted numerous diseases like measles, variola, rubella, and smallpox. The diseases left him with facial disfigurement. He was treated like a baby until he was the age of 10, not allowed to walk downstairs or on his own for most of that time, and had the mentality of a child. So his mother actually had to act as regent for most of his reign.
Oh my gosh, this poor guy can't catch a break.
No, he got everything. Everything.
Oh.
Now the jaw. I said we'd be coming back to the jaw. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So the jaw was actually due to an overproduced recessive gene within the family, causing the condition called, I believe it is pronounced mandibular prognathism. His father also had this. This is what produced, like, that large, prominent jaw, the butt chin effect.
Mm-hmm.
Like, overly pronounced. Like, you know, some people have a dimple there.
Yeah.
This man literally had, like, basically, like, 2 meatballs.
Ugh.
Just, like, there, sticking out. He also had a maxillary deficiency that caused his face to be sunken in. So not only is his jaw sticking out super far, the rest of his face is, like, in, so it was even more pronounced.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so that's where you get the Hapsburg jaw, which becomes a little grotesque at the levels that he actually had it.
Mm-hmm.
Due to this deformity, Charles couldn't speak for a good portion of his life, or at least had a hard time for most of his life, but he also couldn't chew, like, at all.
Mm-hmm.
So he could only eat by swallowing his food whole.
Oh, that's gotta be dangerous for sure.
Like, all of his food. Like, yes, they probably cut it up a little bit, but, like, no matter what, just, like, they probably didn't think to cut it up super small.
Mm-hmm.
So because he was swallowing all of this whole, no chewing involved whatsoever, it led to further ailments, such as a distended stomach, indigestion, and vomiting.
Oh, poor guy.
So, like, the ailments he was born with led to further self-inflicted ailment.
Mm-hmm.
He literally just could not deal with it.
Yeah.
It's just, so
yeah, it's tough because your options are so limited too. It's not like you can just go like put your cheeseburger in the Cuisinart or something and just like zoom, and then there you go, you have a shake for you. But
right, I mean, unless at that point it's like unless someone either mortar and pestled it or they like mama birded it.
Oh no.
Viewers, I'm sorry. Listeners, sorry, not viewers.
No, I'd rather get indigestion. I'm good.
Yeah, no thanks. I refuse. Okay, yeah, so that's his ailments. We did a little bit of a speed run, so there's that. But why is he called Bewitched? Besides the obvious that he looked very scary to those who encountered him. Because people thought the devil did it. Most of Spain actually believed that Charles was cursed by a witch or possessed by a demon, and that's why he was deformed.
Well, that makes a lot of sense because Anne Boleyn miscarried. There are supposedly 2 miscarriages of Anne Boleyn that we know of, but her second miscarriage, the child had a deformity, and people tend to associate a deformed child with witchcraft. So that was part of the reason why the witchcraft charge was added on to like her other list of things that Henry VIII fabricated, of course. And now we know better, of course, that it, isn't always like that. Although for Charles, there is a very specific reason for why, but it definitely makes sense why people, because people just were very superstitious at the time. And so that seemed like a logical explanation to them.
Probably propagated because they were like, oh, it can't be us. It can't be us.
Oh, yeah.
I can't marry my 30 years younger niece. No, absolutely not. I'm in the right. The devil that has possessed my son.
Yeah, I mean, if I were to go back in the modern day, even knowing everything that I do know about how it would work, if I were to see him, maybe I would be so terrified. I would think, oh yes, devil.
Possibly. You might even do as the Spaniards did and call exorcists from around the kingdom to expel the demons.
Oh my gosh.
For years of his life, like most of his childhood, he was spent bedridden and priests and people coming to like bless him.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't work because there was nothing there.
Mm-hmm.
Stupidity. Not his, but his parents.
Yeah.
And everyone before. So, and then I did a little bit of digging on some other things. Most of this comes from research, and within it, Will and Ariel Durant described Charles as short, lame, epileptic, senile, and completely bald before the age of 35. He was always on the verge of death, but repeatedly baffled Christendom by continuing to live.
Well,
them,
the devil may have cursed him, but God wanted him alive.
You're like, yippee-ki-yay, I'm alive! But he wouldn't be able to say yippee-ki-yay.
Poor guy. He felt it, though. He felt it.
He had no chance.
Yeah.
Survived.
Oh, bummer deal, man. I feel so bad for him, but...
Everybody roots for the underdog once in a while, right?
I mean, yeah, that's true. Good for him that he stuck it out, because can't imagine it was easy. It'd be difficult to live with those sort of conditions now, let alone during the height of the Hapsburg dynasty, so, bless his heart.
Well, I mean, it wasn't the best of times for him.
No.
actually lived in a state of melancholy that progressively got worse until he eventually did pass away.
Oh.
So he was very sad that he ended up that way, and it's kind of heartbreaking because he didn't want to be that way, and there was no way to fix or cure it because it was genetics. It was literally his DNA.
Oh, poor guy. I want to give him a Slurpee.
It'd be all he can eat.
I know. I might just cheer him up just for a little bit.
Just a little while. Here you go.
You know, a little bit of that, like, cherry cola and blue raspberry.
Ooh, good stuff.
I kind of want a Slurpee now. Dang it.
Someone bring me to Sonic.
Nah, I'm thinking full 7-Eleven, like nice, real soft.
Oh, those are the good Slurps.
I wouldn't say no to Sonic either, though, especially, good old happy hour deals. I got an email the other day for 50-cent corn dogs from Sonic, and I got really sad. I wanted to go get like 4 of them.
Should've. I miss corn dogs. Enough about missing American food.
Yeah, poor Charles.
Poor Charles. We'll continue on to that. Poor Charles, because, oh dear, poor Charles. His life just kind of went from bad to worse.
Oh, no.
Because he had all of these issues, but then they also decided to try and get an heir out of him.
I can't imagine that made him feel any better, or I don't know, I wonder what his expectations would have been going into it.
Well, back then, they never believed that it would have been the male's fault, right?
Oh, of course.
Even if he looks like that, they were like, yeah, it has to be the woman that's making the mistake. Not because he looks like, I don't even know, someone stepped on some Play-Doh. I'm really sorry, Charles, wherever you are. It wasn't meant as it was kind of insulting, but it was more on your family and not on you. But I just gotta be honest, because even his first wife, Marie Louise of Orleans, she was, first of all, his second niece.
Ooh, no.
Yeah, gotta keep that tradition alive. Gotta try. Ugh. And it was an arranged marriage. Which, of course, it was. But a French ambassador actually wrote that Marie wanted absolutely nothing to do with Charles. And it's believed that she said that he was so ugly as to cause her fear and always looked ill.
Oh, no.
But she was actually legit afraid of her husband.
Well, that's the foundation for a healthy relationship for sure. Oh, yeah, and you said first wife, so I'm assuming we have some more, or at least another wife in the works after this.
There's more in the works.
Oh, boy.
Also more for Marie, because when they first met, Charles was so weak from just physically unable to hold himself up that he fell several times during their meeting. Like, his legs just buckled underneath him and he just collapsed. Just plunk.
Oh, no.
It's just really sad where, like, you're trying to impress your new girl and you just fall and can't hold yourself up.
You could turn it into, like, a being smooth or something like, I guess you made me weak in the knees. I've fallen for you. Oh, no. It's all against him. He needs, like, an interpreter that just, like, oh, shoot. Sorry, my landlord's calling. Hang on. All right, so whenever you're ready, we were talking about his first wife, Marie?
Yes, we were talking about his first wife, Marie, and so I think we can all easily come to the conclusion that this marriage did not produce a successful heir. During their 10 years together, oh my goodness, he opened the door.
Oh my gosh, so...
Obsidian!
So those of you listening that might not know what's going on, Brenna's cat just opened the door to her room and got in.
Anyone that's listening, you can probably hear the robotic sounds of his purr. Hi, yeah, so pleased with yourself.
Wow, such a smart cat.
Yes, smart one. Now, can I get back to work?
He's like, no, it is about me now.
Sit.
Charles, who? I don't know him.
That's okay. You don't need to know. Don't give you kitty nightmares. Okay. You calm now? He's making biscuits. He's all good. Okay, so yeah, they were together for 10 years and did not have a kid, unfortunately. Oh, so sad. But what was really sad is that when Marie died in 1689, Charles actually became very depressed.
Oh.
He could hear about her, and so it's very upsetting. But you know who didn't care about her? The church.
Oh, no.
Or the rest of the government.
They never do.
He wed his second wife, Maria Anne of Newburgh, only a couple weeks after his first wife died.
Ooh.
So he may have been sad, but everyone else was kind of like, all right, oh no, get over it, we need to
You know what would make you feel better? A second wife.
Yeah.
Cash in the warranty.
So good for you. A new wife. whose name is very similar to your other wife. We just changed one letter and it's all better now, right?
Yeah, we added an extra sound to it. So in a way, it's like you're getting more bang for your buck.
Mm-hmm. Well, there was a goal here with this. They were like, okay, we just gotta keep moving. He's still young-ish, right? This could still work. So they picked Maria, not because of political aims or anything, but because her parents had 23 children.
Oh my gosh.
And so, of course, she's from good stock.
That's a uterus that's working overtime. Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's uterus that needs a break.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so the hope was, oh, great, her parents had 23 kids. We can get at least one. One!
Oh.
But because, of course, as we said before, it's not the man's fault that there was a lack of babies. No, it was Marie, the first wife's fault. She's the one that couldn't produce anybody. Because the poor patriarchy couldn't admit defeat and impotence. Yay!
Yay.
Wave the flag. So, yeah, didn't work out for them because, Charles had a pituitary hormone deficiency as well, included all the other lists.
Oh my
that
goodness.
Made short, impotent, infertile, weak, and having consistent digestive issues. He also had distal renal tubular acidosis, which meant he had blood-laced urine and an abnormally large head that he couldn't hold up very much on his own.
Poor man.
Not really conducive to breeding there, folks.
Yeah, no, because, say it even were possible for them to have a child. What's this child going to inherit from his father?
Right? Probably so much.
And more.
It would just be a worse, yes, Marie ended up being not within the direct line, such as, Maria, the second wife, she wasn't really within that direct line as Marie had been. But still, why? Just why?
Make it make sense.
Unfortunately, it cannot, because these people were obsessed with something I can't quite comprehend.
Because nothing says a pure bloodline like an enlarged head.
No! Oh, no!
If I don't have, a Disney princess-sized head...
On the neck of a twig.
With a toothpick neck.
He was bobbling.
Then the dynasty will fall.
This fall, so will the dynasty.
Oh, I laugh, but I feel bad.
We can laugh and feel hurt at the same time.
We're human beings with complex emotions.
You stop yourself from crying.
I only laugh to keep from weeping. That's one of my favorite lines from Knight's Tale. I say that all the time.
Oh, yes. Good one. That is a good one. Alright, well, we're almost done, because most of this man's life wasn't really involved in politics and things, because, like I said, he had the mentality of a child, so he couldn't actually run kingdom. He couldn't run Spain, and he couldn't run any of the neighboring territories that he was put in charge of. So he'd been actually, by the government and by other nobility, and, by some of his half-siblings as well, because, yes, this man did have half-siblings, most of them sisters that got married off. One of them was Empress of the Holy Roman Empire, in fact. Yeah. Oh, I was right. So Philip IV was his father, and yes, so Margaret Teresa, Holy Roman Empress, is his full sister. His half-sister was Queen of France.
Wow.
Yeah, lots of things. But
yeah, crazy to think if she had been on the other side of the bloodline, how different history might have been.
Yeah, whereas her brother ended up being... He also had a brother, only full-blooded brother, who was named Philip, but he died as a baby. But yeah, so even, all of his siblings and stuff were like, yeah, he can't do this. And the government was like, yeah, he can't do this. So he was deemed unfit to rule the Netherlands, Belgium, parts of Germany, and even Spain. So much of the power of these lands were given to the family and regents outside of him. Essentially, they were passed off to be like, hey, you can take this one. All right, you're my sister, you can take this one. Because he just couldn't do it mentally, her son. So yeah, especially during the last 4 years of his reign, he was alone. He didn't have his regent anymore. And so it was like, ooh, he can't do it. Yeah, so Charles had been king since he was the ripe old age of 4. So technically his mother was in charge since he'd been 4 years old. Since his dad, before him, at the age of 60.
Oh, wow.
Yep, well, that's how succession works, duh. 60, so that he became king at 4. And yeah, like I said, he was the only surviving legitimate male heir, and so he was the only one who could go. His dad had a mistress, and who actually turned out a pretty okay looking, okay living guy, but because it was with a mistress.
Yeah, not gonna happen.
He was recognized, and he went into the Spanish militia, but he couldn't be king.
Yeah, no.
So it went to Charlesy Boy, who somehow survived despite the Hapsburgs' mortality rate being 18% higher than the average mortality rate in that period.
Gosh, I mean, I can see why. Jeez.
So he survived, but only till the age of 38. Because after 2 centuries of inbreeding, that's as long as he could stand, and he became the last of the remaining Habsburgs and left the throne without an heir. But he did pick a ruler, did pick someone to succeed him, because who doesn't at that age in time? You need to, or else bad things will happen.
Yeah, civil war could potentially break out. It's very important.
Yes, so to try and avoid war, Charles decided to fill that gap in the hierarchy and the gap in the power with his half-sister, Maria Theresa. Her grandson, Philip, from France, he came as heir. But Austria believed that Maria had renounced the Spanish throne upon her marriage to the French king.
Oh.
Despite naming an heir to try and avoid war, his death and lack of a true successor led to a 12-year war known as the Spanish War of Succession.
Oh.
So, even though he tried to avoid it, the luck this man had just was not there, and it still led to bloodshed after he was gone.
Oh my gosh, this poor guy. I can't believe that.
And that is the unfortunate life of Charles II of Spain, the Bewitched King.
Poor guy.
I know we started off lighthearted, but man, does it get sad.
It does. You know what? I bet in heaven, though, now that he's been, restored to a good form, I bet he's just dancing. I bet he's speaking, maybe doing, stand-up. I bet he's just doing great now. Best life. Best afterlife for Charles.
He deserves it.
He does. He had to put up with too much. And I bet he's going up there and chewing his food as much as he likes.
I hope the other Habsburgs were reprimanded severely. What were you thinking? Why did you marry each other?
Yeah, so I guess we can end today's episode with saying, lesson of the day, don't marry your cousins.
Sweet home Alabama.
It's I saw this thing somewhere, everyone was like, we all have that one hot cousin, right? And I'm like, no. I don't know what goes through your guys' heads, but I don't think like that. So don't think like that.
Don't have that thought, y'all. Just push it away.
Yeah, no. Seek help.
Marry out. Keep it out of the family.
Yeah, there are so many wonderful people outside of your family. Go find them.
It doesn't have to be a fishbowl.
Alrighty, so I guess we can end that there. Brenna, thank you so much for bringing the facts and the laughs, as always. This has been a delight, and I will certainly have to have you on again another time, and sooner than 2 years, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, but no, this will actually be the finale episode for Season 2, which is so funny, because Season 2 has been going on since, the fall of 2020, but then I kept going on all these different hiatuses, because I was like, each season's going to be 16 episodes, and this is the 16th.
Woohoo!
So, yes, we hit Season 3 after this, which I'm excited for because I'm planning on doing a new intro. I have some more topics to explore now that I'm very excited about. So thank you guys for sticking with me through all these hiatuses. Hopefully Season 3 will be more regulated and stuff. And we've got some fun things to look forward to. So if you liked this episode, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, follow. Every platform's a little bit different. We'll have to get Brenna on again perhaps sometime in the future when she finishes her master's thesis, so she can tell us all about the cool things that she's done studying folklore and ethnology. So we'll have some very fun things to look forward to there. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Tea Time Thoughts Podcast and on YouTube at Tea Time Thoughts Podcast. If you're interested in looking at some short form history comedy content, you can follow my TikTok at Tea Time Thoughts. Brenna doesn't have a TikTok, but I regularly send her stuff to be like, hey, what do you think of this? And
it's good content, guys.
Thank you.
It makes me want a TikTok, but not enough to actually get one.
That's high praise. I will take that.
No, it's good stuff. I'd like to watch it anywhere it is, so.
All right. So thank you guys so much for listening. This is the end of Season 2 of Tea Time Thoughts. I will announce Season 3 sometime soon. Honestly, I probably won't give it that much of a gap because everybody had to wait so much for the episodes between Season 2. I'm like, we should probably just jump right into Season 3 for the heck of it.
Well, I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. I think we got some good stuff coming. So, alrighty. Thank you guys so much. Thanks for listening. This is Tea Time Thoughts, and I'll talk to you again soon.